G'day everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to Printed, the place where every day is Prime Day. Jumping straight into this week's hobby highlights, I haven't had a very busy week, but things are going to change soon. A quick update from life is I've had a bit of a weird roster for a couple of weeks at work, but moving from not next week from this video's release, but the week after, I'm actually going to be on a 4-day roster, meaning that fingers crossed, I have a little bit more time for video and hobbying so that I can get a bit more stuff out for you guys. So I'm super excited to try that out and can't wait to see what we can do. Now, I didn't get much hobbying done as per usual this week, but I did discover a very, very fun gold paint. So it's more or less just a can of spray paint and I absolutely adore it. Now, I'm not going to say exactly what it is because I want to do a specific video where I paint up some custodies with it because I think it could save not only a lot of money, but a lot of time when it comes to painting these minis. So I'm going to be doing a bit of an experimental video with that coming up in gosh knows how long, but hopefully soon. But from what you can see, how shiny is that? Now, there are some areas that I missed on this model. I did only do it as a test, but this is like stunning. Like, this isn't just gold, this is metallic gold and it is shiny as hell and has to be my new favorite gold, to the point where I am very tempted to start painting my Space Marines with this, masking off the gold trim on them and then airbrushing that all separately, because like this is a radiant and really inspires joy in me when it comes to painting. So I'm super excited to do a bit of a test with that, but you might have to wait a little while for that video to come out. So keep your eyes peeled. Next up, I did also print some Carcharodon models from my new Void Shark range that I have on the store. These are the Reaper Lord, the Behemoth Hunter, and the Juggernaut. I can't remember exactly. I think it was the Megalodon Juggernaut, which freaking stunning models. Like, look at these guys. My particular favorite is the Juggernaut and the Reaper Lords. They look absolutely amazing. As for the Behemoth Hunter, I love the model, but I cannot for the life of me figure out exactly what this is. Like, the idea that I have in my head is the fact that it's maybe a Primaris Phobos Lieutenant or Lieutenant. You know, like that's the sort of vibe that I'm getting from it. But ultimately, I'm not 100% sure. So if you guys have any better idea of what this model might be, or could possibly proxy in the game, make sure to let me know, because I am at a complete loss when it comes to this guy. But yeah, overall, I just wanted to quickly show you these guys because they are stunning models, and I'm keen to hopefully chuck some paint on them in the coming weeks. Now, I do want to quickly mention, I don't think I mention this very often in my videos, but if you guys are keen to see how my hobby projects are going, I do leave a link down in the description below for my hobby pile of potential. And more or less every week, I'll go through, and maybe a couple of times a week, depending on how active I am with my hobbying for that week, I will go through and update it with where each of my projects are headed. And it might give you a little bit of a sense of where I am video-wise as well, because there are a few upcoming video projects that are listed on there, but I'm not going to tell you exactly which ones. They're mixed in amongst all my personal stuff, so you'll have to guess which videos they're from. But long story short, I'm really loving it so far, and it's good to see my progress for the year, although I was getting a lot more done last year. But between everything, which I'll mention a little bit more in a sec, it has been a little bit of a hobby drought this year, but I'm hoping and praying that we can change that in the coming months or weeks and really start smashing out a few projects. So keen to see what we can do. Now, finally, I do want to mention that I am still working on next week's video, or I hope it's next week's video, but long story short, it is a massive video, and I won't be posting another hobby video until that one is out. Now, rest assured, you'll always get this video every week. The hobby highlights and headlines are something that is guaranteed every week, but unfortunately, the hobby video that I'm currently working on is extremely time consuming and a lot of labor has gone into it. So I'm not going to guarantee anything, but you'll definitely see it in the coming weeks. Hopefully, all going well next week, but absolutely no promises, because in amongst all work and my shop and everything popping off, I have been really strapped for time. Which does bring me into my next point. I just want to give a huge shout out to every single person who has purchased from the store this week. To my right here, I can barely walk through our door because there are so many shipping boxes that I have to try and get out. I am so genuinely appreciative of it because this goes a very long way in supporting not only me and where we live currently, but also the future of this channel, because the majority of the money that I get from that will either be reinvested in my business or back into awesome hobby projects for this channel. And it's the whole reason that we're actually getting the 3D printing video next week. That was fully funded by my business and people like you who are purchasing models from my store. So as always, I genuinely want to thank you all for supporting both my small business and the channel. And there are big things coming to my business. I am fully reinvesting every cent that I can in it. Most likely going to get some new printers, fingers crossed. I am working on some new visuals for the whole business, some new packing stuff, coupon codes, business cards. Like, I want this to be the creme de la creme of 3D printing businesses. So yes, I'm super excited to see what that brings in. And maybe, just maybe, you might see a sneak peek on the channel. If not, in some future orders if you do place one from the store. So without me rambling too much, we're going to jump straight into the hobby headlines. Now, it's been a bit of a fun week in Warhammer releases. We got a sneak peek at some new Skaven slaves, which fortunately enough, Games Workshop has done a fantastic job modeling these guys. And believe it or not, if you have the old Skaven slaves and you mix in the new guys, you're basically not going to be able to tell the difference. And that's not entirely a bad thing. They have designed them in a way where I don't think they're taller than the old Skaven slaves, but they're definitely more detailed, and I'm super excited to see people's armies with a mix of everything, because ultimately, the old Skaven slaves, you should get a bunch of them on like eBay for cheap now, since they're going to be open models. And the new Skaven slaves, I am really hoping and praying that they come in a box of 20 instead of 10, because a few people have asked how many will come in a box, and GW have not answered them yet, but I have a feeling they're got to be like the Hobgrot slitters. Slitters or slitters? Throat slitters or something like that. And probably come in a box of 20, seeing as they're the main chaff unit for all of Skaven. So that's really, really fun to see, and as the images scroll through there, you'll probably notice the height difference. They've got it between the old Skaven slaves and then also the new Stormcast Eternals models, which is cool to see. I love that they're doing all these previews and comparisons between everything. Really cool to see Games Workshop putting in that little bit of extra effort. And on new releases and Stormcast stuff, they have finally revealed the Stormcast squad. Initially, they only revealed one of the models, but they have gone ahead and released the rest of them at this point. And it's about what I expected. The models look cool. They've got that new Liberator aesthetic to them. So nothing too crazy, but it is cool to see some new, fresh Stormcast models. And now, for the biggest freaking disappointment that I have seen all week. I went to the Games Workshop website yesterday, and as I was scrolling through all the articles, I looked through and I saw Heresy Thursday. And for those who don't know, Heresy Thursday is basically where Games Workshop do a teaser for their upcoming Horus Heresy models and Legions Imperialis. And I saw the Termite Assault Drill, I think it's called. Yes, the Termite Assault Drill. And they are finally getting a plastic kit, because these guys have got to be one of my absolutely favorite models of all time. The only unfortunate thing is, they're not being released for the Horus Heresy. These models are being released for Legions Imperialis. I cannot explain how disappointed I was when I read that. These are cool models. If they're getting a plastic Horus Heresy Legions Imperialis kit, we've seen in the past with the Solar Auxilia stuff that just ends up being bigified to 28mm scale, and between you and me, I reckon in the near future we're going to get full 28mm size Termite Assault Drills, which would be really, really fun to see. Because first and foremost, I've seen a couple of people build them, and they do not look like fun to build in resin. And there's usually a lot of warping. They're a bit of a pain, especially to like glue together, and you got to hold them, and then your hands get all like glued. And they're expensive as hell. Like, such a cool model, but I could not justify the price tag. So fingers crossed they release them in like a box of 1 or 2 when the plastic kit finally comes out. I can guarantee you they have a Legion Imperialis kit, and they will have a Horus Heresy kit. Like, for sure. I could near on bet money on it, but I won't, because I'm not a very lucky man. So yes, super keen to see what they do with those guys. And fingers crossed, and hoping to the great Emperor himself and the Adeptus Mechanicus engineers that we can get those guys in a full 28mm scale kit. Next up, we do also have some Mr. Modulork releases, which I'm just going to scroll completely over here. He's got a bunch of tech cannons that are coming out, which I I feel like whenever a third-party company does the like their version or their proxies of like all the tech cannons for like the orc stuff, all of them look stunning. There has never been one that I've looked at and gone like, yeah, I mean, like, could have been better. Just all of them have such a unique, like, ragtag, cobbled together aesthetic to them, and just really, really works. And they also have this like new guy who's in, I assume, like mega armor, and he's a massive cannon, and he looks incredible. Now, I don't particularly know what he's proxying, but alas, I'm super keen to pick them up and probably paint them up, because I've got a Grot Legion army that I need to do something with, and once that's done, I will be looking for a bunch of orc reinforcements, because I've always wanted to have a full like wah and just look at green tide of everything. So yeah, it's keen. I'll be very, very keen to add some of these models, but for the time being, I should just admire them in all their 3D rendered glory. Next up, a company that I have not talked about on this channel before, but Oushanminis. Specifically, bit of a backstory. I used to have a merchant license for these guys, and unfortunately it was at a time when my business wasn't really doing a bunch of sales, so I couldn't really justify the merchant cost for them. So I ended up dropping the license, but I do have a bunch of their models from when I was subscribed to them, and they have got to be one of the most unique and different approaches of Tyranid I've ever seen from a third-party company, and sort of a company, any company in general, I should say. They recently released their Sea Dragon guy, which I'm pretty sure is, if I'm looking at it correctly, is a proxy for the Harpy, I think it is, for the Tyranid range, and it looked incredible. For those who don't know, Oushanminis' Tyranid proxy range are basically all based on sea creatures, which is such a unique take to me, and I've genuinely had such passion and joy for the models. Unfortunately, I painted them like Tyranids, so when I initially tried to do it, and I tried to do it really, really quickly, I wasn't 100% happy with how I painted them, but I would love to jump back in and maybe try it again, because they could be really, really fun and interesting models. Especially like they had this Hive Guard, which were basically just look like mud crabs, like big, bulky, and I think they were meant to be Hive Guard. Overall, freaking stunning. Oushanminis make some of the best and unique things, so if you haven't checked them out, go and check them out now. I'm just going to have a bunch of their stuff here for you guys. But yeah, long story short, they're making some awesome stuff. They do also do some Necron things, which I'm not 100% fan of. They've kind of got like a ghostly, dead vibe to them. More like ancient tombs, kind of 40k Tomb Kings. Less, yeah, I would say that they're kind of like 40k Tomb Kings, instead of being like pyramid Egyptian style Necrons, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you want to go and check them out, I will leave a link down in the description to both Mr. Modulork and Oushanminis. That brings me on to the final portion of this video, and that is this week's hobby hero, which I am super, super excited to say. It is Katie Plays 40k, which, if you haven't seen her before, she's an amazing creator, which I, for the longest time, I didn't realize that she was from Tabletop Tactics. I actually follow her on Instagram, because a bunch of her shorts pop up in my feed amongst all my other creators that I follow. And she is always such a bubbly and fun person to watch, and has such passion and dedication to the hobby, and it's really fun being able to see her hobby journey in the things that she's doing. Like I said before, she's actually a Tabletop Tactics presenter, which I will also leave a link down in the description to not only her socials, but also just the YouTube channel for Tabletop Tactics. They do a bunch of different style videos, but I think they mostly do battle reports and things like that. So if you are interested, make sure to go and check them out. It would mean the absolute world to me. The thing that I always love about her content is she always looks like she is having fun, and watching her hobby journey is something very, very inspiring to me. Her paint jobs are super clean and crisp, and if you want sort of more a GW-esque style paint job, I would 100% recommend checking out her stuff. It's really, really, really cool to see, and I have a lot of fun seeing all of her different armies. Off the top of my head, I know she collects, I'm pretty sure it's Tyranid and Black Templar, the two big armies that come to my mind when I think of her stuff. And yeah, it's super, super fun seeing her go through it every week and do her stuff. And I'm really hoping that I can get to that point for this channel, because I would kill to be able to play and paint Warhammer every single day and create some amazing content for you guys. So yes, being able to do that would be incredible. But alas, I shall live vicariously through the creators that I loved, such as Katie Plays. And yes, just want to say a huge shout out to her for this week, and her being the hobby hero, Now, with that all said and done, it is time for me to sign off for this week. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has watched this far in the video. If you did indeed enjoy it, make sure to leave a like on this one. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe, because I would love to see your friendly face join our amazing community of hobby heroes. And if you would like to share your paint jobs with me, you can do so either by tagging me at PrintedOz on Instagram or Twitter if you do have that sort of things. I would absolutely love to see what y'all are doing at home. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Happy hobbying. Bye.